Any questions here, anybody? Okay, so today, Jenkins, we will have to discuss after the page object model is over. So I want, if you're connected to laptop, right? Then I will be doing it on your machine because the setup is already there. I will not be able to show you the setup part. Okay, so that is why if any of you are connected to laptop and Java is there, Eclipse, everything is there, then we can, I can ask you to share the screen and then maybe we can do it there. Only the setup part. That's all, we'll do it here. Okay. Anyways, so that we will see. So now coming back to our, discussions, right? Yesterday, we were talking about the page object model. I just started with that. I know some of you maybe still not clear. See, what we are doing in the page object model here is for every page in the application. Okay, so for example, there's a login page. Right? And then it has username, password, right? And then there is a OK button here. Then there is a cancel button here. Yeah. So what we do in the page object model is for every page in the application, we are just trying to follow a typical Java way of automation. This is a basically typical Java way of automation, right? So what we do here, for this page, we will write a class. We will write a page class. So for example, login page.java. So what is there in this login page.java is all these elements that are there on this page, just like a class will have instance variables and methods, right? Just like that, all these elements which we are going to interact, right, in our scenarios, all of them basically, we will declare them as private global variables, instance variables, basically instance variables or global variables. We discussed it long back, Java, right? And then we also declare the WebDriver instance here as a global variable. So WebDriver and then all the web elements here, all of them as web elements. This is a WebDriver and then this is all the web elements. Okay. And then what we want to do here, on this we want to enter the username. On this we want to enter the password. On this we want to click. On this we may want to click. Correct. So for that we will write the methods. Enter username, enter password, click on OK button, click on cancel button, like that. So it is just like set username, set password, right? So get username, get password. You remember get and set. Just like that, it is set and click or get here. Okay. So this is the approach that is getting followed in the page object model pattern. So it is actually speaking, it's not a framework. Whatever hybrid framework that we have, we can still have that, but only thing is the approach will be different here. The way we automate is different. Instead of writing earlier, what we were doing, we were writing a login class, login.java, right? In this class, we were writing all the test cases, automating them as methods. Correct? Every test case was one method here, but now we are not doing it. Now what we are doing, we are basically writing a page class, and then for that page class, all the web elements, we're declaring them here as a global variables and the methods over here. Okay, so we are not automating the test case here. Then where do we automate the test cases? For that, we write the tests, login tests.java. So what we do here in the login test is we basically create, we basically create the object of this guy. Right? So we basically create the object of this guy. So login page, say login is equal to new login page. And here we will have to pass the WebDriver instance as a constructor argument. That's it. We will have to pass the WebDriver instance as a constructor argument. So once we do this, then what happens? Using this driver, when it goes here, this page, this object of this class is created, right? This as a constructor. In the constructor, the magic is happening. Whatever driver you pass, that driver will be assigned to this instance variable. And then using this driver, all these web elements, see driver.find element by.id. So that means this web element, driver.find element by.xpath, see this element. All these web elements are created and then stored in these variables. Okay. So in the constructor, so there is a method here called as page factory dot initialize element, init elements. So initialize all these elements using this driver. So whatever driver you pass here, once the object of this class is created, then what happens? So you will have all the web elements ready. You will have all the web elements ready. That's it. You just, after that, what you can do? So login dot set username, login dot set password, login dot click. That's it. All the methods are already available here. Typical Java way of automation, right? Are you getting it? So whenever the object of any class is created, remember we have to pass the WebDriver instance to it. so that using that WebDriver inside the constructor, all the web elements will be initialized. You have to pass the WebDriver instance and the web elements will be created. Makes sense? So with this, I will show you the login page. Just here, this is how the login page looks like. It has a WebDriver instance variable, and this is a constructor. As I told you, the constructor takes a WebDriver reference. Using that WebDriver reference, page factory initialize elements, all the elements using this. So it is like, this dot driver is equal to driver, and using that driver, see, we are assigning this dot driver is equal to driver. And then using the driver, all the elements will be initialized. What are the elements? Username. It is like driver dot find element by dot ID is equal to username, right? And then whatever web element that comes, that will be stored here. But whatever web elements come, that will be stored here. Whatever web element comes, that will be stored here. Just take a look at this and just ask me if you guys have any questions. I'll take a minute here.
Sir, do we implement it when we are implementing, if we have implemented hybrid framework for our project?
Hybrid is basically for data, right? See, if you just see here, even when we write the test cases for this, even the test case class will extend the base class. Okay, so whatever is there in the base class that we may want to inherit, right? So you can, only thing is what is changing here, the way we are writing the classes is different. Maybe the way we want to write the results, all of that could be still same.
Okay, so in the in this model, page object model,
right,
we do not inherit the classes. We
no, we do that. This is only pages. We're only talking about the pages here. This is only page. When we create the object of this class and then write the test case, for that we will write another class that's called the test class. So in the page object model, you will have pages and then tests, corresponding tests, like doc class and test doc class, student and test student, like that. In the test classes, we will be inheriting.
So do we choose one, either we choose hybrid model or we choose page object model?
Exactly. We choose either hybrid, we choose page object, or we choose Cucumber, right? So this is the call that we have to take when we designing the framework initially.
So on what basis we can choose these?
That's a very good question. Yeah. So now what we will do is, once we learn Cucumber also, then we will take the call which one to choose, which one suits in what type of scenario, right?
Okay.
But otherwise, from my experience, I'll tell you hybrid is the best one. Cucumber is nowadays getting more and more popular, just because you don't have to write too much of code there, right? So that's why it's getting popular. We will take the call depending on the team, the skill set. You have to take the call.
Okay.
Yeah, that we will decide once we complete Cucumber. Yeah,
sure.
Excellent. That was a good question. Any other questions here? Any questions? All right, guys. So now what we have done here. So this is web element. This is web element. This is web element, right? Because all these things, we want to use them down the line. That's why we declared all of them as web element. Then set username, set password. Click on OK button. That's it. Like set us and get us, right? So that is what is the pages looks like. This is how the pages looks like, right? And then what we have to do here, is we have to write the corresponding test for this, wherein we will be creating the object of this class. So where do we do that? For that, we use separate package. One is pages, one is test. See, in the login test, what I'm doing. So this is my test case. So first test case is there. What it says? It says you enter valid username, enter valid password, click on this, then you should basically log in, right? And you should go to the home page. That's what the test case is, right? So what I'm doing for that, simple. It's very simple now. So what you do, you create the object of this page class. See, login page, login is equal to new login page. WebDriver we have to pass, and that driver is coming from the base class for us. That's the beauty. That driver is coming from the base class. If you don't extend it, in what you may have to do in every class, every test case, you may have to create the object of the driver. Right? So that is something that we don't want. We simply take it from the base class. See here, login.set username, admin, login.set password, this one, and click this one. So you might be thinking, why are we hard coding? So now what you can do, you can take the data from the data provider. You can take the data from the Excel file. You can take the data from, wherever you want, right? But here I'm hard coding it. So anyway, we know how to take the data from the Excel file. Anyway, we know how to take the data from the TestNG data provider, isn't it? So that is where your hybrid frameworks comes into picture. It will provide you all the building blocks, right? Page object model is just an approach for automation using pages and tests. This is really wonderful. A lot of companies are still using it. Okay, I'm telling you, more than hybrid, people are using page object model and Cucumber. Okay, hybrid is kind of a traditional legacy one. People have been following that, right? But now suddenly these new things have come, like Cucumber, page object model. People are still using the hybrid to write the results, data, and all that. The hybrid, the infrastructure is there, but the approach for automation is like this. Even in Cucumber also, we can still follow the hybrid, and then still we will go by the Cucumber approach. Okay, so this data can be taken from Excel file or data provider and all that. So for now, just for you to teach, I'm using this. Very simple, right? So what you do here, it creates the object of this, and then you pass the WebDriver using this WebDriver. When you create the object, what happens? The constructor will be invoked, correct? Now what the constructor will do, that every page has a WebDriver instance variable. Right, so that WebDriver instance variable will be initialized. So it is like this dot driver is equal to driver, and then using that driver, all the elements will be initialized. It is like, just to show it to you, it is like driver dot find element by dot ID is equal to username. That username we are saving it over here. Okay, just to show it to you, for example. So what we will do, driver dot find element, okay, by dot ID. Okay, then say username. Right. This will become what? This will become a web element, right? This will become a web element, correct? That's what is happening here. So this driver.find element by.id is equal to username, that will become a web element, and we are storing it over here. Exactly, that is what is the meaning of this line. Meaning of this line is create a web element using the ID, taking the driver, then it is driver.find element by.id, then whatever web element comes, store it over here. Whatever web element comes, store it over here. Whatever web element for login button comes, store it over here. Right, that's what is the meaning. See, so much of code is being taken out now. This line is not required now. This line is implicitly taken care by this annotation. This annotation will internally actually internally writes that code and captures the web element and stores it over here. Are you getting it now? So simple, isn't it? So simple. The first test case is automated like this. Yeah. After that, once you click on login, then we will have to verify whether the logout link is displayed or not, right? So for that, we have to write a code. We have not written that, but for now, just let us test it once. Okay, let us test it now once. So we have the testing.xml. So yesterday it was not working because the package name is different here, right? com.pageObject.test. This is where the tests are there. These pages are there. You have to run the tests, not the pages. Inside the test, we are creating the object of the pages. See, inside the test, we are creating the object of the pages and running the test cases. Correct now. So this package was not there yesterday. That's why it was not working. Let us run this now. It is a TestNG test case. Because it's a TestNG test case, before method, after method, all of that will anyway run. And then once the test case comes, test case will run. Correct. Let us see this now. This is a wonderful, way. Okay, so you should learn everything, right? Which one to use, then you will be in a position to take the call based on the application, based on the scenarios, right? But you should know hybrid, you should know page object, you should know Cucumber. Then you decide. Okay, so now see before method executed, then the test case is getting executed. And there's a before method. And then the method is coming now. Method will be nothing but this guy. See, entered username, entered password, click on OK button. That's it, over. The test case is passed. We have to verify this, right? We have to verify. How do we verify? When we click on the login button here, when we click on the login button, see, you entered username, entered password, and click on login button. When you click on the login button, what happens? The focus will go to home page. Home page. So from login page, now the focus will come to home page now, isn't it? So now you have to have a page for home also. Just like login page and login test, you have to have a page for home page also. And there all the elements of home page you have to declare. Correct, na? So in the home page, what and all we want to have? We want to have logout link. We want to have, task, reports, all the, modules that are there, right? So home page may become so big, isn't it? Home page may become so big, so many, elements will be there. That is why what we do, we split that. Okay, for let me just show it to you here. So once you log in here, demo.activetime.com. Okay, so you enter admin and manager. See, in the login page, we hardly have few web elements, but here, so we have so many web elements. We don't want to create all of them under home page. So what we will do, we will separate them, maybe for task one, for this one, and for this one, maybe for this area, this and this for this one, like that. So we are again splitting the home page into multiple small sections, so that we don't want to overload the home page. See, your login page has very few web elements. You see a login page, it has very few web elements. Username, password, OK button, that's it. Whereas home page will have so many. Correct, na? Home page may have so many other. That is why what we want to do, we want to segregate that, not as pages, that as a fragments of pages, as a sections of pages. So that is why instead of putting everything in one page, you can basically split that into multiple small pages. Okay, so these are called as page fragments. Fragments as in just a section. For example, you can create a page here called as tasks. You can create a page here called as reports. You can create a page here called as settings, like that. It's up to us. If you want to put everything in home page, then it will become too bulky. Are you getting it? So login page was small. Very few web elements are there. Otherwise, home page is too big. So that is why what we will do here, we will create separate pages for separate modules here. Right? So once you log in, then you have to go to this. Correct? Correct, now. So that's what you have to go to. But now what we will do, we were not automating this anyways. Now we are just taking care of a few things here. So I will create a home page and show it to you first. Okay, same way you can create the pages for tasks, reports, and all that. Right? So now what I'll do here, just here, new class. I will just say home page. So what goes in the home page? Just like in the login page, what we have this web driver. Every page should have this. And then this constructor. Let us put this both. This is required in every page. Right? And then instead of login page, it is a home page. That's it. So once the object of this class is created, then all the web elements will be initialized. Now, which web elements we want to check here? For now, I just want to check logout. Correct? So then I will declare that. What was the pattern there? @find by. @find by. What is that we are trying to use here? If you remember the syntax, @find by. ID is equal to this is there, right? Or XPath or whatever you want to use, you can use it. For logout link, what is that we want to use? Inspect that. And then go here. Okay. And then ID is there. Right? You can simply use the ID. ID equal to this guy. Right? And then what is this? This is a private web element. What is that? Logout link. Whatever you want to call it, it's up to you. Web element you have to import. That's it. Right? So as of now, we only want to deal with this. Right? So what I'll do now here is I will say what? Say once we log in from login page, now we move to the home page. In the home page, we want to verify whether the logout link is displayed or not. Correct, na? We want to verify whether the logout link is displayed or not. That's what I'm trying to do now. We want to write a method for that. Here we wrote setters and getters. Here I want to verify whether it is displayed or not. Let us write a code for that. Public void, say boolean. We will say boolean, right? Verify logout link display. Verify whether the logout link is displayed or not. Correct. I will just say here this is displayed. Same thing. Boolean. Okay. What is that? Displayed is equal to false. I will put it right. You remember we have to do this return. Displayed, so that the compiler is happy. Now what we will do? We will check for this whether it is displayed or not. If it is not displayed, then the exception will come, right? So that is why we have to put it in the try catch block. You need to remember this always. So driver dot. Now do you have to find the web element? Not required. Absolutely not required. Logout link is already there here. We'll just say here logout link dot is displayed. If it is displayed, then I will say displayed is equal to true. The value will be stored in the displayed. It will be true. Otherwise, it will be false, right? Otherwise, if the exception comes, then we will go to catch block. In the catch block exception E, right? What we are doing in the catch block, simply printing the stack trace. It will become false. It is false only. If it is true, it will be true. Otherwise, it will be false. Same thing that we have been writing. Okay, now I have written this method here. Correct now? Very simple. Very, very simple, right? So once the login button, we are clicking on the login button, then the focus is going to the home page. The focus is going to the home page, right? So now we have to create the object of the home page now. And then in the home page, we have to call this whether it is there or not. Correct now? We have to see whether it is there or not. Let us try to do it now. There are multiple ways to do that. Let me try to show you over here. Now just here. What I'm doing here. So after this home page, say home or home page, whatever it is. Home page is equal to new home page of driver. The same driver that is there. We are passing for this guy also, for this guy also. In the home page, what we want to do? Home page dot is, what is that? Verify logout link display. Right? This will give us the true or false boolean, say displayed, or say whatever you want to guess, a result or variable, that's right. And you have to finally check whether it is true or false. For that, what you use? Assert dot assert true. Right? So we want to check whether the result is true or not. I can just say here the logout link not seen, not displayed. See, writing the results and all that, that is taken care by your test ng. Okay, and you can use the what is that? You can use the extent reports and all that, right? So for that, but here we are just verifying how to automate the test case. Rest all is taken care by a framework. See, this data can come from the Excel file. Before method, after method, all those annotations are there from the test ng, right? So only here we are just trying to use this approach and then trying to automate. Now is it clear now? Login 001 will be passed now. Correct now? Login 001 will be passed now. Why? Because we have, once this is displayed, we go to the home page, and in the home page we are verifying whether it is displayed or not. Correct. So that's what it is. Let us run this and see. Hopefully this should work now. Yeah. So I will just run it as here. So are you getting it? So this is a typical Java way of doing the automation. Create the object, call the methods. Create the object, call the methods. So for every page you have to write the methods there. Wherever the transition is happening, there we have to do that. Admin, it has entered, password, it has entered, and then it is clicking here and then verify the logout link over. Login 001 passed. Right? So here, this is for this page, this is for this page. When you click on the login button, it goes to the home page. Now you also go to the home page. You create the object of the home page and continue. Wherever there's a transition, you have to go there. For example, you want to go to the task module and then you have to automate a lot of test cases there. What you do here? Create the object of the task page class. Task page class. Right? And you go there and then whatever you want to do there, do that. Correct now? So after that, once you log in, maybe you want to go to reports and then do reports automation is there. You do that there. Correct. So that's how it is. You just go on like this. Just go on like this. Makes sense now? Simple. Any questions, anybody? See, this is the page. This is the login page. This is the home page. And this is the test case. First test case is automated.
Sir, a question.
Yeah.
Could you please go to the active screen, active time?
Yeah.
So, if I talk about test cases or test scenarios, the very first would be how many elements are displayed. I would like to whatever we have received from the requirement will be the benchmark, right?
Correct.
And manual test case will be written. And
Correct.
manual test cases are segregated into UI test cases, negative test cases, positive test cases,
Correct. Perfect.
and
Yes.
things like that.
Right.
And first of all, if my perspective, my point to understand is how I should segregate our automation with reference to the manual test cases. And manual test cases I am segregating in UI test cases and those functional.
Yeah, UI and then maybe functional. Right. In functional,
Right.
again, you have positive and negative.
Right. So,
Right.
for example, can you please move to that screen active time? So there are so many elements like the names of the features, and there are elements which do not have name, like the setting under the
Correct.
John Doe. There are
Right.
these images.
Correct.
They don't have name.
Right.
So one point is I will write a UI test case where I will see what are the elements. I will like to verify the elements on
Correct.
the screen.
Right.
But how about these calls, capacity planning, NASA negotiation? These things, those will not come into UI test case. Those will be functional when I will create those tasks and projects.
Yes. So that's a very good question. Now see here, see what happens is once you log in, right? So you always remember automation is nothing but whatever manual test case that is there, you are trying to automate it. That's it. See, whatever you do manually, you log in and then verify whether these modules are displayed or not, whether these are displayed or not, right? Whether this table is displayed or not. Correct? When you click on this, whether this expands or not. Correct? Now, so whatever manual test case is there, for that you are automating it. That's it. Whether it is a functional, whether it is a UI, whether it is a positive or negative, that is actually the test case will have to take care of that. Right? If the test case says after login, you should see logout link is displayed or not. Over. Then there's another test case which says, so verify the elements that are displayed on the header section here. All the modules and all displayed or not. You just have to check for that. Verify when the user logs in, right? Whether he's seeing the existing customers or not, like this. Again, you have to have a test case for this. Correct. So usually from my experience, what I can tell you here is don't separate UI and functional. Okay. So when you write functional, for example, you want to see whether you are able to create a customer or not. In that case, what you do, you come here, log in, and then go to tasks, and then click on create customer, and then you create a customer. So you are anyway clicking on the task. That means that task is already displayed. Okay. So you don't have to separately write a test case for that. Right? The functionality will anyway take care of the presence of the element. See, look and feel cannot be automated. Okay, whether the task color is proper or not, whether this, so the look and feel, the font size and all that is not automatable. So only thing is you can check whether the element is displayed or not and whether it is functioning or not. Right. So when you're taking care of the functional test, the UI test is automatically taken care. Correct now. So when you're able to click on task, when you're able to automate, task module, that means anything which is there in the task UI, that is already taken care. Correct. So that is why. So if you are say leading a team or if you are managing a team, then what you have to tell, even if you're into automation, you have to tell to the functional testers to write proper test cases. Okay, so that they are very easily automatable and they will give you good coverage. Right? Simply otherwise, if you say login and then verify logout link is displayed or not, login and then verify this username is coming or not, login and verify whether this settings icon is displayed, this icon is displayed or not. Right? Name is not there. Maybe you can give the name, whatever name that you want to give. Right? So help icon is displayed or not, like this. If you keep on writing for 111 display and all that, it is okay. I'm not saying that is not the right approach. That can also be the right approach. In that case, you have to automate those test cases once again. See, automation is nothing but whatever manual test case is there, you are simply automating it. So in that case, you have to improvise on the manual test case. Automation is just like, instead of you executing it manually, it is doing it for you. Correct, Manish? So that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is why when you write good functional test cases, in the functional test cases, anyway, UI will be covered. Ideally, we should not be writing separate UI test cases. But it's okay. Even if you write also, see, one test case is for you. See, what is the purpose of the logout link? Let us take this example. What is the purpose of the logout link? From the UI context, if you see when you log in, you should see the logout link. That's one test case. Is whatever we have done now is what that is the same thing only. We are verifying whether it is displayed or not. Second thing is functionality of that. When you click on this, it should again log out. And there's one more test case for that. One is for functionality, one is for UI. Right. So when it is displayed, when you, for example, when you automate clicking on the logout link, right, and then it's again coming back to the home page. If that is the case, if you're anyway verifying for that, then display is not required. If you're able to click, that means it is displayed only. But however, if the manual test cases are two, one is displayed, you're checking whether after login, whether the logout link is displayed or not. That is one test case. And after that, you're checking for the functionality of the logout link, one more test case. That's fine. I can go like that also. Right. So it is just the process of, converting the existing manual test cases into automation. So whatever fine tuning, cleanups and all that you have to do it on the functional side, not on the automation side. Right, Manish, hope I answered your question, maybe in a roundabout way.
Yes, sir. I mean, the thing is manual. It depends on the manual testing how they are written.
Correct.
The coverage, etc.
Yes, you have to always, convince them and talk to them and then try to ask them to write some good test cases, right? Not just in terms of numbers, simply, writing so many test cases for increasing the numbers. Then, we are mapping 1:1, and then we have to automate one test cases, one automation script. That mapping will become headache, and then simply you will have too many test cases, right? So that's not, ideally speaking, maybe UI is fine, whether the elements are displayed or not, fine. Then you have to cover the scenarios, the use case basis, how the customers are going to use our application. From that angle, we should write some good test cases. That will cover end to end very easily. Make sense? Yeah.
Yep.
Hope I answered. Yeah. So yes, so there's no definite answer for this. So as and when you take the automation challenges, you will get to know.
Yeah. Basically, what happened? One of my team members, he's using Visual Studios and C# binding. He created. I asked him to create a project on that, and that application is built on React.
Okay.
It has a field like LOB, line of business, and which consists of 6 values.
Okay.
Values, but that is not an HTML tag, which it does not have list kind of HTML tag.
Okay.
So the problem with that is, I mean, he is struggling to find that element via ID, and the developer has not given any locator names or unique IDs.
Okay. Now you go to the parent and come down.
Yeah, that is what he using div
The parent
div option.
Yeah.
Yeah, from top to down.
Right.
That is what he's doing. But so in the meantime, can we ask developers to provide the locators?
Yes. Ideally, yes. Yeah, you can always, if the application is still under development, see, there will be two types of applications. One is yeah, you can always ask them, you can request them.
Basically, that application is already developed and it's a 7th sprint.
Yeah, now you can't do anything. Now you can't do anything. You have to identify the elements.
Okay.
Yeah, if it is in the development phase, still, bare bone just started, then you can always ask them.
Sure.
Yeah, but otherwise, even if state away IDs or names are not there, still you can identify the XPath going to the parent and come down. That's it. Over.
Yeah.
So that's how it is, right?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So now coming back to this, right? So what we have done here is we are just verifying whether the logout link is displayed or not. That's what it is. Simple, right? So now let us take one invalid login scenario wherein I enter the username. There's a second test case. Okay. I enter the username, I enter the password, then click on this. Then what will happen? The same thing will come here, right? So let us automate one more test case for that. So what I'll do for that? I will automate it as one more test case, login 002. Okay, let us write it. So just here, public static void login underscore 002. Right? So what we'll do here, same thing. Create the object of this guy. Yeah. And then here, login dot set username, not password. Login dot set username. So I'm just giving the username as say admin123. Right? Password is correct only. See, this data can come from the these things, Excel files. Okay, so username, password, and then click on this button. Now, do you need to create the object of the home page here? Not required, because this is an invalid scenario. When you enter username, enter password, click on this button, you're still on the home page only. You have not gone to the, you're still on the login page only. You have not gone to the home page. Only thing that you have to do is you have to add one element over here. You have to add one element over here, right? Otherwise, you can still create the object of the home page and then say this is coming as false. Okay, that's also there. But anyway, when you're not transiting to the home page, then why do you want to create the object of the home page? So only thing that is required now is what? In the login page, just add one more web element. For what? This guy. For this guy. So when you enter invalid username and invalid password, then what will happen here is, right, the error will come. You just have to verify whether this error is there or not. Inspect that. What is that? Span of class. Right. Two are there because there's one more error that might come. Yeah, so you can add this also. What is that? Username or password, this text, right? And just to show it to you, okay, because two elements are coming there, right? And this, and then I will just say here contains, see, two things. How do you add? Okay, one of one. You got this, right? This is XPath. So what I'll do here, I will add one web element for that. Private web element. Say, what is that? Error message, right, is equal to error message. How are you trying to find this? At the rate find by XPath. That's it. Oh, you just add one extra element there. In the test case, what do you do now? You just say, you don't have to do this now. You just have to say login dot. Okay. So what is that? You have to verify whether it is displayed or not, right? So for that, you have to write a method. See, methods will always be here. Only the tests will be here, right? So what you do here in the login page, you write one more method for that. What is that? Public Boolean. Yeah. What is that? Error message display. So you can just say that for now, I'm just doing here. What is that? This guy. Where is this guy? This guy. Dot is displayed, whether it is displayed or not, right? So I'm just simply returning that. See, that is how you will, improvise. You can store it into a variable and then return that directly whatever comes, you're returning it. In this, ideally, you should put it in the try catch block. Okay, so just to show it to you, I'm not using the try catch block. Correct now. So directly, I'm just checking whether this error message is displayed or not. True. Otherwise, exception will come. We have to handle it, but now I'm not handling it. Exactly like the way we did it over here. You want to do that? So let us do that also. Why to take the risk here? See, is displayed is equal to false, and then I'm saying here. That's what it is. Okay, same thing. Yeah, same thing. Just put it, in a proper try catch block. Correct now. So now what happens here? Come here, and then in the test case, you just verify whether it is displayed or not. Login dot. What was that? Error message displayed. Right? You put it into a result. Second test case is automated now. Right? And then say you assert for it. assert to result, right? I'm just saying here the error message is not displayed. Exception, whatever exception that has to come. That's it, over. First test case, second test case. At the rate test. Test engine will take care of running it. Either you run it the whole class or you run the whole package. Now only 2 test cases are there. Let us run them. Yeah, so let us run them. One as test engine. See here, the first test case is running now. And then it will, whether the first one or the second one, it has picked one test case. Yeah, first one. And then it is verifying whether the logout link is displayed or not. Over. Then the second test case. Who is taking care of this? Test engine is taking care of this. Then why are we using test engine in the page object model? Yes, it is required. Page object model is just, the approach of storing the web elements and automating that. That's it, over. 2 test cases are over. 2 test cases passed. Are you getting it now? Yeah. So this is how we automate. This is how we automate using the page object model. Okay. So now just I will go one step further here, just to show it to you. Okay, just to show it to you. So, but first of all, is this clear to all of you? Any questions here, anybody? Any questions here, anybody? Simple, very simple. Yeah, I think this should be good. Let us not confuse you. There is one more enhancement we can do. Okay, what is that enhancement is? See, when you anyway writing this method, you know that when you click on this, it will take you to the next page, or it will basically, be on the same page, right? If you enter the data is invalid, then instead of, see what, okay, let me do that for now. Okay, so it is an enhancement, right? So don't get confused, right? So what I'll do here is, so just for you to show it to you, okay, I'm writing one more method here, public void. Click login button, and go to home page. Don't get confused here. Click login button and go to home page. Click login button and then go to home page. What is this guy? This is another method. So what we will do here is, this method will click on this button and then it will take you to the home page directly. That means inside this method itself, we are creating the object of the home page. Inside this method itself, we are creating the object of the home page. Okay. So just see the beauty here. See, when we have to create the object of the home page, what you have to pass? You have to pass the driver, right? Any page, if you want to create the object of it, you have to pass the driver as the constructor argument. So here, what I'm doing here, just see here itself, I'm taking the driver here. Be with me, all of you. Maybe it is a little interesting. So what I'll do here is, in this method itself, we are passing the argument of WebDriver. In this method itself, we are passing the argument of WebDriver. So what we will do here, once it is clicked, after that, what I'm doing here, I'm creating the object of the home page here itself. Just see home page, home is equal to new home page. In the page itself, whatever driver that comes, that driver, I am passing it over here. Then what I'm returning here, I'm returning the home page object. So the return type will become what? Not void. The return type will become what? Home page. So what is the meaning here? When you click on the login button on the UI, what is happening? It is transiting to the new page. Correct now? So it was earlier this one. Now it is transiting to the next page. So likewise, when you click on this, that method itself, whenever you click, that method itself is taking you to the home page. So that means in this method itself, you're creating the object of the home page. That's what some people do. Okay, wherever there's a transition, in that method itself, they'll create the object of the next page. See, in this method itself, we are creating the object of the home page and then returning it. So now what is the beauty here? Now let me come back to the test case here. I will not use this, click here. I will use this now. I will use this. What it takes? It takes driver. It takes driver. So what it returns? It returns the object of the home page. Right? And then this is not required now. Straight away, I can call it like this. See, earlier what we were doing, we were explicitly clicking and going to the home page, creating the object of the home page. Page was also going, we were also creating the object. But here, this method itself, this also will take the driver. And then what we will do here, we will create the object of the home page. After clicking on this, we'll create the object of the home page and return the object of the home page to this guy. So this guy will not have to create the object of the home page like this. You do not have to create the earlier what we were doing. I will keep that also, okay, just for your reference. Earlier we were doing it like this. This is now not required because this guy itself is creating the object of the home page and giving us. Otherwise, you create it or this guy also can create it. It's up to you. Okay. So some people, just to save one line of code, they will, wherever there's a transition, that method, they will make it to return the object of the next page. Right. So this is just for your reference. I mean, if you even go by this way also, it's fine. This is clear, but this is little tricky, as in, if there's a transition here, take the WebDriver and then create the object. You do whatever you want to do. After that, create the object of the next page and return it. Return the object. The return type is what? Home page type. So you create the object of the home page and return it. And then this guy, by the moment you call this, you will anyway get the object of home page. Now using the home page, you can continue whatever you want to do. You got the reference to home page now. Home page is what? Home page is this guy. You got the object of the home page now. In this home page, this method is there. Exactly the same thing. Makes sense? Correct now. So very, very simple. Okay, so very, very simple. Yeah. Some people do like this also. Okay, so it's up to you which approach you want to follow. But if you follow the regular approach, that's more simple and easy. Okay, so let us test it now. Now also it should work. Here, so for logout, for login button, we have two methods now. One is just a regular click, it is clicking. One is clicking and taking you to the next page. There's a difference. Okay, so now if you run this, ideally this should also work. Let us run it for the last time. So what is the difference here? The difference here is one was clicking and then we were explicitly going to the home page. The other one is clicking and taking you to the home page. See here, it went to the home page. It returned the home page object. There itself, we just verified statement. When you get the reference to a different class, right? If you have a method that is giving you a string, then what you can call the string methods right on the top of it. That's what it is. 2 out of 2 passed. Makes sense now? So you have both the code so that you will understand. Okay. Any questions, anybody now? Any questions here? I am not sure whether we are writing the extent report here. If at all we are writing, then it should have even written that also. Yeah, see, it is there. Maybe let us just verify this. Yeah, so if at all it is there, it should come here. Yeah, we'll do a refresh here. Yeah, and then e-report. Open with a browser. Why it is not coming? So we are using the extent report here. Okay, let us see here. Login 001, login 002. This is coming here. Sometimes it may take some time. Okay, it will come. Open with web page editor. Okay. It's taking some time maybe. Ideally, it will come because anyway, it's integrated at the framework level, right? So if these are coming, if these logs are also coming, yeah, then everything should come. Okay, so this we can see. Maybe you can try to debug this. Yeah, so this will help you. Okay, so why this guy is not coming here? It was anyway coming here. Okay, so it was coming here, but why this is not coming here? We can see. Are we using the listeners here? We're using the listeners. Okay, see here. Is the listener class correct? com.activetime dot base class. Okay, this is correct. No worries. So we can see that. Anyway, we have learned extent report. So it should ideally work. If it's not working also, it's fine. Yeah, we can take a look. But otherwise, page object model is what is important. Let's see results, extent report or your own report, logs and all is always fine. We already learned that. Right? How to integrate we have seen. But what is important is this guy. Make sense? Any questions, anybody here? Any questions here? Any questions here? No questions? All right, the strength is already low. People are, this is what happens, it's like when the cricket match is about over or movie is about over, some people will start leaving. Right? It is like that. Yeah. So now what I'll do, we have another 10 minutes, just stay back. Yeah. So we are going to start with the Jenkins now. Okay. So what is Jenkins? What is the use of it that we will see? For now, for today, just to tell you an overview of it, see, we are running the test cases here, right? Using Eclipse. I told you Eclipse is something that is only used for development and debugging and all that, right? When it's running, we don't want to use, Eclipse, because if you give the entire automation suite to the manual test engineer, the manual test engineer doesn't know where to run, what to do and all that. He might mess up. Right? So that's why what we do, we use something called as a Jenkins. So Jenkins will basically, it is called as a continuous integration tool. What is Jenkins? Jenkins is a continuous integration tool. So what do we mean by continuous integration? Is so there is something called as CI and CD, continuous integration, continuous. It is called as development. Also, it is called as delivery. Okay, so what is the meaning of this? Just to tell you, there are, let us say, 3 developers in the team. All the 3 developers are coding. What they will do, they will keep pushing their code to GitHub, right? And entire code is available in the GitHub, right? From the GitHub, the DevOps guy will take the code and then make a build out of it. He will generate a WAR file and he will give it to you as a test, to the testing team. Testing team, what they will do? They will basically deploy it on a testing environment and then they'll start doing the testing. Correct now? If you see here, the code is continuously getting integrated to the master branch or the main branch, and from the main branch, the build is taken out. Correct now? So when, let us assume that one developer has finished his story, right? Whatever task he was doing, he's finished it. Then he will make the push, right? Whenever there's a push happening, whenever there's a change happening to the master branch or the main branch, then the build should be triggered. Whenever there's a change happening, then the build has to be triggered. Why? Because somebody has pushed some change. There's a change in the source code. You have to test. You have to run the smoke for that. Right? Then the build will be taken out, and then your DevOps guy will take a build and then deploy it on a QA environment and ask all the testing team to carry out one round of smoke testing because the new build has come. Are you getting it? So like this, continuously the code is integrated. Okay, and continuously it is developed, isn't it? And then you are testing it. Once everything is fine, testing goes fine here, then maybe you can, release it to the customer also, right? So that is what is continuous delivery. See, continuous integration means continuously the code is getting integrated, right? And then once any changes are there, it will be deployed and tested. Build is taken out and then you are testing it. That is nothing but continuous integration, continuous development. The development is happening in a continuous way. It is not that you are waiting until everything is over, then take out the build and no. Whenever there's a change to the master branch or the main branch, you have to trigger your smoke suit. Remember that. See, if you are working on a release branch, then this release branch anyway will be there. But if any story from the release branch is getting pushed to the master branch, you have to run your automated smoke suit there. Okay, so that is what is continuous integration and continuous development. Development will happen in a continuous manner like this. It's not that they will take one month, everybody will work and then finally take out the code and then push it to master. No. Nowadays, people are, as and when the story is ready, push it to the master. As and when the story is ready, push it to the master, right? And then once, they will have a date, and then that date, the master will go to the production. It's like that. Or one story is ready, you push it to the master, then straight away it will be tested and it will go to the production. That is what is nothing but continuous integration. Everything is integrated. You push the code, build will be taken, build will be tested, and then it will be deployed to the production. This is what is continuous flow. This is a continuous integration. This is a theoretical term. Okay. So to do this, we use Jenkins. The tool that is used for helping continuous integration and continuous development and delivery is your Jenkins. So in Jenkins, you can take out the code and then create a build. And then you can trigger. So for all this, we write some jobs. In the Jenkins, we write some jobs. You write a job. That job will basically take out the code and then prepare a build. You write another job. That job will deploy it on a particular environment. You write another Jenkins job. That job will trigger your automated tests. So like this, in Jenkins, we will have nothing but jobs. See, this is usually the work of a DevOps guy. Okay, so you may not be directly involved in creating the jobs and managing the jobs and all that, but you should know at least how to create some simple jobs. You should know how to run them. See, as an automation engineer, you can say that I was running the jobs in Jenkins. I was running the jobs. Right? The jobs were created by DevOps guys, and then whenever I had to trigger my smoke suit or regression suit, we were simply triggering the jobs from the Jenkins. Make sense, right? So is that clear? So it is basically helping you to create some jobs. See, just remember that it's a web application. It's a web application. You tell in that web application, you create a job and tell that please take the source code from so and so Git repository and then run the test cases against that. Right? You will, for everything, you will write a jobs here. For everything, you will write a jobs. So Jenkins is nothing but a web application. Inside that, jobs will be there, and you create multiple jobs to do multiple tasks. And then all of them can work in a sequence. Right? That is what is continuous integration is. Are you getting it? So this Jenkins tool is a web application. So what we have to do? We have to download this web application. That will come in the form of a WAR file. Jenkins.war file. You download this WAR file. Okay. And then this WAR file means web archive, web application. Entire web application is archived. So this has to be deployed in a web server. What is a web server? The one which is going to serve the web applications. So the popular ones are Tomcat, open source, and then you have Oracle WebLogic, then Glassfish. These are all web servers. Okay. Then we have JT, which is very, very small. Nginx, lot of web servers are there, right? So this Jenkins WAR file, when you download it, it comes with a built-in web server called as JT, a small web server. So when you extract this WAR file, for extracting it, there's a command. You extract the WAR file. What it will do, it will start the JT server, and then it will put this WAR file inside this JT server, and then you will be able to access the application. Directly, you will be able to access the application using Jenkins now. Jenkins will be up and running the moment you run one simple Java command. Okay. So how to do that now? We will see that now. Okay. So just be with me. We will just see this now. Okay. So give me a second here. So if you see here, yesterday what we have done, we have downloaded the Jenkins.war file, right? From where you download, come here, go to Google, and then say download Jenkins WAR file. When you click on this, it will take you to the Jenkins deployment. And if you just see here, download Jenkins latest. Okay, so just a second. I'm just trying to, clear up my Jenkins setup. I wanted to do it on some other's machine. I'm taking a risk and clearing entire setup and trying to do it over here once again. So this is a WAR file. You download it. I've downloaded. Click on this. It will be downloaded. Where I've downloaded, I've kept it over here. So how to start the Jenkins WAR file, right? How to start the Jenkins application? Open the command prompt here, and then simply you already have the jar file here, the WAR file. Sorry, java-jar jenkins.war. Now the WAR file will be extracted. The Jetty server also will start, and then this WAR file will be deployed into the Jetty server, and your Jenkins will be up and running. Your Jenkins will be up and running now. Makes sense, right? So this is a simple command to start the Jenkins. Okay, so by default, the Jenkins server, the Jenkins application will be running on a port 8080. Okay, so by default, it will be running on a port 8080. So most of your web applications which are installed locally will run on the port 8080. Okay, you can run it on 8080, right? So by default, it is 8080. But so remember, on 8080 when you run, what happens is, if at all there are some other web applications, they will also be running. You might have installed some other web applications locally. Even they also will be running on 8080. So just to avoid that, we will choose not the default port. We will choose some optional port here. For that, you have to give like this, -- HTTP port. I'm just saying as a 9090. See, anything you can give above 9000 or 8000, right? So this application will, the Jetty server will start, and the WAR file will be deployed into the server, and then you can access the application using 9090. Okay, so that's what it is. So can we start it now? Let us start it. It is now starting. See what it's doing? It's extracting. Okay, and then it will start, Jenkins now. Let us see this now. Let us give it another 1 or 2 minutes. So we will do the deployment today, setup today, and then we will continue how do we create the jobs, and how do we do the CI/CD. All this we will discuss in the tomorrow's class maybe. See, it is starting. And then if you just see here, it has given you some password here. Okay, just you need to make a note of this password. Copy this. Copying, you have to just do a right click. It has copied, right? So Jenkins setup is started now. It is not over yet. It is just started, right? So some exceptions are there. You can leave that. Yeah, so some plugins will be there for this. Some exceptions may come. It's okay. So Jenkins is fully up and running, right? So now once you get the message, go here, go to your machine, and then say localhost. Localhost means what? Localhost means your local machine. It is not having any domain name, right? Google.com, nothing like that. Localhost 9090, enter. The moment it starts, right? So you access this URL, then you will see that Jenkins application will come up now. Localhost 9090. See here. So initially the admin password that was there here, right? You copied it, right? It was there here, right? You copied it. Yeah. That password I have already copied it. I'll paste it here, and then say here continue. So the application is up and running locally now. That's why it's a localhost. Localhost is nothing but on my same machine. So now what we will do here, so Jenkins is all about, creating the jobs, as I told you. You want to do that in a sequence, right? Because continuously you want to, take the build and do the deployment and then trigger the automation jobs. For that, you will have 3 jobs. One job will create the build. One job will deploy the build. One job will trigger your automations. It is like that. Yeah, that's how it goes. Okay. Now, okay, so this is something that, yeah. So plugin installation is there, right? So we have to install the plugin. So if at all you want to configure the proxy, what is proxy? So don't use your company machines. Okay, so if you use your company laptops, then all the company laptops, if you're using company machines, then they will be behind a proxy, right? So that is why you should always use your own machines. Okay, so can we do it on anyone's else machine? If at all you're okay, maybe for another 2-3 minutes. Anybody connected to the laptop and can we do the deployment there if you're okay? Yeah, Jenkins.
Okay, sir, for me, if
Yeah, that's fine, Manjula. So what we'll do here, I will make you as a host. You just download the Jenkins war file, okay? And then I'm making you as a host just to share your screen, and then we'll
okay.
quickly do it there. Yeah. If you have anything else open, you can close them. Otherwise,
Okay.
quickly we'll do it. Hope it's your personal laptop.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, cool. So there is a remote option there. If you can just grant me that. You are using Windows 7?
Windows 7, sir.
Okay, we will try. Hopefully it should work. All right, cool. Thank you. Okay, cool. So what I'll do here is, yeah. So I'll just do here, say download Wi-Fi. That's what it is. And then you go here, and then this is the latest stable, version. Download this. So once it is downloaded, then what we will do, we will simply run that command. Okay, so it should not take this much of time. It will be fast. Yeah, so let it down. So what is happening here is, remember that Jenkins is a tool which we are using for creating the jobs, right? Each job is doing certain task for us. Each job is doing certain task for us. Oh, it is taking a little long time here. Let's see. Oh, okay. It is somehow taking very long time. Yeah, we will maybe give some more time. Let's see. Yeah, let it happen. Let it happen. Meanwhile, I will just check my machine once again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, let it happen. So meanwhile, I'm also trying here in case if it works.
Sir, mostly I'm connecting from mobile internet, so because
Okay, that's why it's taking time. Okay, do one thing. You stop your sharing, and then you make me as a host again.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So if you can make me as a host again,
Yes.
go to participants and then click on that, my name, and then make me host. Tutor Patel is there, right? Next to that, there are 3 dots. Click on that.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So now see what I've done here, meanwhile, is I've added the proxy. Okay, so proxy is basically just every company will have an IP address. Okay, so you just have to give that, right? Once you give that, it will come now. For Mangal also, this will come, right? For all of you also, this will come, right? And there's a click, install suggested plugin. So there are so many plugins which are there that Jenkins will have. Okay, so all these plugins will have to be installed. It will take some time to install. So what I wanted to do is, we wanted all the plugins to be installed and Jenkins to be ready before you come to the tomorrow's class, right? So that's why I just wanted to cover this today. Now see, slowly and steadily the plugins are getting installed. Slowly and steadily the plugins are getting installed. Whatever plugins will install, that is there. Otherwise also some of the plugins may not be installed. That's okay. But we just want to use Jenkins as a continuous integration tool and then see how to create the jobs and then how to see. We are not here to create the builds, from the development angle. Our job is just to see, we want to trigger some automation. We will see how to trigger the same automation using Jenkins. That's what we know we are interested. If somebody asks you in the interview what you have done using Jenkins, you can say that we were basically using our automation jobs, running the jobs, and then analyzing the results. Make sense? So that's what it is. Yeah. So this will take some time. We cannot wait for this. It will surely take 20-25 minutes or even more than that. But for now, we will stop here. Tomorrow we are meeting again. Okay. So hopefully for the last session, but looks like we may have to have one more session for Cucumber. Yeah. So that may go on Monday. Or if you want, no, we will take some time, practice and come back. We might have some doubts and all. We will have the class. If once we have tomorrow, then maybe you can say that we will have the class next Saturday. We'll take 1 week time, practice and do all that, then come out. It's up to you, right? So whatever it is. Yeah. So we will take that call tomorrow. So hope all of you will be able to make it tomorrow. Please make it. And then tomorrow we will continue Jenkins and we will start with the Cucumber also. All right, guys. So thanks for joining and thanks for staying late. And we will catch up tomorrow. Then I will upload the page object model entire project today. Please practice that. Okay. All right. See you. Take care. Bye and have a good day. Tomorrow we are meeting. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.